With Liquor Barn, you can shop your favorite bourbon, that perfect bottle of wine, or discover something new. To place an order for pickup or delivery, download the Liquor Barn app, visit liquorbarn.com, or call your nearest Liquor Barn location. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our email list for all the latest news on products, promotions, and events. Liquor Barn, where Kentuckians go to celebrate life. Cheers!
Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here live in the Bourbon Life Studios, it's three of my good friends and Chad around the flights at the round table. It's another crew episode. Congratulations. You've earned yourself
We've made it to another round, guys.
That's
Congratulations.
Right. We were invited back.
Yes.
Again. Which
This may be the final episode of the crew.
This is our farewell episode.
This may be it. Maybe it.
I can smell it.
Yes, but I do have Philip here.
Hello.
We've got Matt.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
We got Stacy.
Yeah,
And obviously Chad.
I'm drinking Cougar Bait.
Cougar Bait.
me too.
Shout out to my boy Dan Harrison. I told him not to start this brewery.
Man, how wrong you were.
Honestly, he was like,
You really did tell him that?
"Oh yeah."
You should
Obviously,
be shot.
that's how he ended up with us as his crew.
No, it's like
So I withdraw.
That's why I'm in my
I'm
basement
going-
and
I'm
Dan
going-
owns Cougar Bait.
I'm going to leave. I'm going to see myself out now.
Oh, he was talking about how proud he was about him and his buddies brewing a beer.
Just doing a little tap room and
Oh, he's like, I'm gonna open up a brewery. I'm like, no, Dan, you don't want to do that. That's such a bad decision. You don't want to do it, man. There's so many breweries out there, and
And their brewery in Georgetown is seriously one of my favorite places to
I
be
know
ever.
It's awesome. So
their double barrel shotgun wedding is one of my favorite barrel aged beers of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I miss the 750s, but at least it's still in cans.
yeah. So every time I see Dan, he's like, hey, you remember that? I'm like, yeah, man, I remember
You were that
time.
asshole.
I remember
This has
that
been
time.
business advice with Mark Rucker.
Yeah, no doubt.
So everyone don't take business
Yeah,
advice
there's a
from
podcast that was canceled.
Well, here's the thing. If I give you business advice, just do the exact opposite of what I tell you to do, and then you'll probably end up being successful. But we've got the crew here. We're having a good time. We had Thanksgiving for the crew. Matt cooked us a delicious, Matt's like, hey, what? On here?
Phenomenal.
What? Yeah, man. So, Matt, well, let me thank all of our sponsors. Thank you, sponsors. We appreciate everything you do. Matt, tell everybody what you made up for us tonight.
Yeah, so this was my third edition of the Cooking
Yeah.
with Bourbon episode. And always my joy and a passion of mine is cooking. I used to work in the industry, miss it some days, definitely don't miss it a lot of days. But really fun to get together with everyone, cook a nice meal, and tie in bourbon and rye to each of the courses. So our appetizer was kind of a polenta shrimp and grit cake. So
Delicious.
just a regular polenta recipe, and then chilled it, cut it into squares, kind of fried it off a little bit. And then we did a bourbon honey shrimp, which was actually with rye whiskey. And for this, I chose the Davidson Reserve
Oh, yeah.
rye whiskey. They're 100% pot distilled rye whiskey down in Tennessee.
That's right. Down in Nashville.
Yeah.
Nash Vegas.
Picked that because it's a nice herbal rye whiskey. And so made a little bit of a sauce with it, with some honey, that rye, a little bit of the shrimp juices there, and
Shrimp juice.
served that on top. And that was our appetizer here. So
It was great.
It was delicious, and then we had a delicious side as well.
I thought we were going.
Yeah, are we
Oh,
gonna?
we just-
no,
oh,
we're
we're
not
gonna-
gonna. We're not gonna dive into
Oh,
all
okay.
that at once.
Well,
no.
excuse me. All right, somebody pull the bag away from my cat over there before he destroys the entire episode. Goodness gracious.
Get your damn cat in line,
He's like out of control.
Leo. You're gonna send the guy that's scared of cats over
know.
there to
No,
get
I'm
it.
not scared of cats. I don't like cats.
Good luck with that, Philip.
Cats.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Leo
All right.
is such a jerk.
Man, talk about like just real life, real life podcasting.
I
right
would
here.
rather have a pet mongoose than a cat.
Oh, Ricky Tikki Tavi. Right.
I've got a cat at my house, and I still eat.
I thought you were going to say, I have a pet mongoose at my house, and it is not that mean.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, so what are we going to drink on this first round? Somebody brought something.
Well, for this first round, Mark, thank you so much for asking, by the way.
Yes,
This is
you're
going
welcome.
to be a 4-barrel, 4-grain. This is Detrick Fine Whiskies out of Dayton, Ohio. This is their straight rye whiskey. It is 104 proof. Distilled by the Bell of Dayton Distillery. Yeah, go ahead and hold that
The
up
Bell
there.
of
I
Dayton.
wanted to see if it actually said distilled on the back. I've never had their stuff.
I have never had.
I have never had it either. A good friend of mine had this at a event in Ohio, and she talked nothing but great things about it. She has a wonderful palate. I'm not going to name drop any names here. Wendy.
Wendy.
Wendy has a phenomenal palate. I trust her. So if it sucks, let's all blame Wendy.
We're going to blame Wendy.
We're gonna blame
Aged
Wendy.
at least 2 years.
Correct. So according to the website, because again,
Well,
I've never had this.
according to the back of this label is what it says.
Okay, well.
Chad's reading. Hey,
Hey, cocktail wiener, we didn't ask you.
53
Under
gallon.
compensation.
Oh my God, 53 gallon barrels too, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
53-gallon hand-toasted number 4 char white oak barrels coming from the Ohio River Valley. It is the first straight rye whiskey to be distilled in Dayton, Ohio since Prohibition, actually. So from the distiller itself, they're saying that it is distilled and bottled by Bell of Dayton Distillery in Dayton, Ohio. It is a 4-grain pot-stilled rye whiskey made from a mash bill of traditional rye, white corn, wheat, and malted barley.
Interesting.
You know how you know it's a craft brand?
How do you know?
When they put 53 gallons on the front, like that's a big deal.
Well, that's what I saw that, and I'm like, 53 gallons is. I think that movie the first.
But the
time.
people are from Ohio, so they don't know any better.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey,
My sister lives in Dayton, so I mean,
that's okay. Well,
yeah. Can we talk about how they drive? Because they probably
Let's
drive
not.
like
Let's not. Because
Yeah.
do you have any listeners? Do we have any listeners from Ohio?
we probably do, but no
You guys
offense.
suck at driving.
Yeah, only when Matt's parents vacation up there.
Vacation up there.
Who vacations in Ohio?
Nobody.
I mean, I had to spend 4 years there going to school, and it was the worst 4 years of my life.
Where'd you go to school?
University of Dayton.
He's a flyer, man. The Flyers. Did you have any Dietrich by chance?
No, I
It's
drank,
a newer
I
distillery.
know. I'm just
drank
kidding.
swill.
That's all I got to
beer.
afford.
Before we get into that, though, boys,
Yes.
the pricing on this bottle is $69.95. Before
Okay.
we ask.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So Matt, what are you picking up since you're already nosing it? You're the only one that's taking this seriously at this point. So let's.
I was reading.
Yeah. Okay.
That's serious.
I pick up a lot of grain. A lot of the corn, I think, comes through. For being a straight rye whiskey, I'm getting a lot of like that fresh cracked corn, kind of like corn meal. Little bit of like a briny or minerality type nose to it as well.
Okay.
Kind of herbal. Definitely has that funky pot still aroma to it.
Yeah. Philip, what about you, man? Pot still, man. It's kind of your jam, right?
I love the nose on it. It's
you?
definitely
Okay.
Yeah, you can definitely get the pot. So I don't get as much the corn. I get more of the hay, grassy notes. This is what I'm getting.
Gotcha.
Maybe a tad bit of spearmint, but it's really light.
Nice. Stacy?
Hay, grassy, herbal,
Okay.
tiny bit of mint on the back.
I was just greeting you.
Hey.
Now.
Hey, Grassy. What's up? Chad, what's up? What are you getting?
I get the mint on the nose as well. I get like that sweet winter mint, a lot of hay and grassy notes as well, like Philip and Stacy said. I do get the corn. It's kind of a corn flake, lightly sweetened, just cereal grain, nothing like wild. But yeah, a little bit of that pot funk. To me, it's kind of one dimensional. It knows it's exactly what a younger pot distilled rye whiskey I think would nose like. Now the fact that it's 4 grain, I hope comes through in the palate, but on the nose,
Yeah. I just keep smelling shrimp.
Did you wash your hands?
I did, but I keep
That's
smelling
funny.
shrimp.
That's all I think I'm, after cooking all the food, I'm like, I was getting a heavy nose of shrimp. I'm like,
I get mineral. I get this like
throw my opinion out.
I get some grits.
I get
and
some. I get
lemon.
some salinity. There's a lot of salinity
Little
to
shellfish.
coriander.
Tastes like
Dinner.
People be like, "What the hell
Old
are
Bay
you talking about?"
Old Bay seasoning. No, that's. I mean, unfortunately,
Don't talk about your wife that way.
Oh man,
Ooh.
I keep getting just shrimp because we just had dinner. Matt cooked obviously a wonderful meal, but those aromas are lingering. So I unfortunately can't pick up much of anything else. So guys, what do you want to talk about? Philip, I think you had some ideas.
All right, so what do you want to hit first, Bigfoot or UFOs?
I don't know. Philip has been dying to talk about Bigfoot and UFOs. On
Are
the
we
show.
really going to talk?
Are you my
Oh
dad?
yeah, it's just
Like,
Thanksgiving dinner. We need to know.
We had Thanksgiving dinner,
We can't
man.
talk about politics.
Oh,
we
yeah,
might
no
as well talk
politics.
about
We're not going to
conspiracy.
talk
that's
religion.
right.
We're not going to talk religion or politics. So, but we could talk UFOs.
Talk about UFOs and Bigfoot.
So the reason that brought that up the other day,
Okay.
well, I guess it's been like a month ago now. There was actually a video of
Yeah, the
of the
Mexico.
couple. No, this
Oh.
one was in Colorado. This couple was on a train,
Yeah.
and they were just filming the train ride, and there was some kind of something walking across the hillside.
Oh yeah,
That-
I saw that.
That was, I guess, a Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
And then it sit down on the side of the hill, and you couldn't tell what it was.
It copped a squat. It
Yeah.
was taking a deuce.
Was the mountain moving with them? Like, how did all
No,
this happen?
they were on a train.
It's like a runway scene in fucking Fast and the Furious right now.
They were on a train.
All right, so
going
let
around the hillside. and
let
it
me
was
tell you,
walking.
man. When I was a kid, I was enthralled with Bigfoot, the Bermuda Triangle, the Yeti,
Yeah,
the
every
Loch Ness monster. I mean, I read books. I checked out books
yeah,
from
so
our
did I.
elementary school library all the time and read about that stuff. I was absolutely fascinated by it. So, but as I've gotten older, and I did watch that. What was that show? Finding Sasquatch or Finding
Oh my
Bigfoot?
God!
Finding
you guys
Nemo,
are
I love it.
such, Yeah, Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Yep.
It was a great movie.
I've tried to watch the Bigfoot Hunter shows.
I know they're terrible. They are, but at the same time, I'm like, if there really were a Bigfoot, wouldn't we have identified or actually have some type of true physical evidence of it, other than just random people saying, "I hear a knock" or "I hear a yell" or
But, I mean,
a
that's what
scream
all
or-
the tens of thousands of fake footprints are from.
Yeah.
Those are from the Bigfoot.
What's that one? What's the film out that was shot out in?
Harry and the Hendersons.
Hey, that proved Bigfoot was real.
Yeah.
But one of the first ones, the guy that they shot,
Oh,
it,
not
not the Zabruder, because
that's the JFK thing.
that's
Yeah,
the JFK
guy-
thing. But
In
It
the
was walking
60s?
through like the dried up creek. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in like 1968.
Yeah, it's
So
in the
there's
60s, right?
there's a documentary on Hulu about, and
Is
they
there
bring
really?
that and they bring that up, and
Yeah.
there's a guy that is like, no, I know who was in that suit.
So it was a suit.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like, that's Leroy. He was, you used to see him at the country store. He'd wear that every now and
Been
then.
drinking and we
Yeah.
said, "Hey man, go put this monkey suit on. Go over and
It's
walk
like
a little
They
bit
paid him like $100 to walk
to
through
do
or
it."
something.
Yeah. All right. Well, so
I'm
Good
under
thing
the
it was
impression-
silence. They're like, look back.
now when I was a kid, there was a movie. What was it called? The Legend of Boggy Creek. Have you guys ever heard of that movie?
That's too old for us.
All right. So it was kind of about like Sasquatch, and it was all right.
We're millennials.
No, I'm just saying, Matt. Don't look at me like that. Anyway, it was a
Legend of Foggy Creek sounds like,
boggy
Boggy.
Creek.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
So it was
Foggy
it
Mountain
was
Breakdown.
kind of like a Bigfoot kind of scary movie when I was a kid. Anyway, you can,
Was it a home video?
It was actually me, my dad, my brother.
Grew up on that.
Did I tell you, we grew up in Eastern Kentucky? Did you know that?
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
we went down the
Did
pike.
you ever hear a Bigfoot in Eastern Kentucky?
I've never heard any knocking or any screeches or anything.
So the scream that they always they
yes,
play.
yeah.
I just tell everybody, go Google a mountain lion
I was
scream.
gonna say, is it? I
If
thought,
you Google mountain lion scream, that sounds a lot.
There's-
when people say
I'm
this.
disappointed because he was all gung ho to talk about it. I'm thinking he's like a believer, and now he's like
No, I
shooting
think,
all
there,
this
I think
shit
there was
down.
one. I think there was one at some time in history.
But guys, since we're talking about this, what are other things that you geek out on? Because I'll say mine is giant squid.
Really?
well, giant squid's a thing though. Like
I know,
we've
but
proven a giant
okay,
squid's a thing.
but okay,
But that exists.
it
Yeah.
does. But that's
Bigfoot
something
does
else
not.
that I.
What about the Loch Ness monster though?
No, that's fake. as
That's
shit.
fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
The
hell?
Loch Ness-
Fake
that
ass.
one's fake. I don't believe that one.
Today's the day that marks like, damn, all my childhood hopes and dreams are ruined.
What about the Bermuda Triangle though?
I mean, it's not a
think that
physical
was just-
triangle.
that
I
was
mean,
just-
That was a girl I knew back in.
Oh my god. Matt, what kind of crazy shit do you believe in?
I think that was poor navigation skills.
Literally, that was really like when I was in college.
Matt dreams about people not salting their food, and it's called a nightmare. Like
That's right. Yeah.
But if it's salted properly when cooking, you don't need extra salt.
But I still think Bigfoot's possible. I don't think
Okay.
so. And the reason I say that,
Oh God, here we go.
All right.
It's possible.
Have you-
Well,
like-
we're gonna
like there's
take
still-
one out of
yeah.
the freezer. There's cryogenically one
still
frozen or
I think
something.
there's
There's
enough
still a chance.
uncharted territory where there, if it's a small
Sure.
enough.
you have the ocean
You think there's like
where giant squid are, but not in the damn forest.
Have you went hiking in the Rocky Mountain National Forest?
you mean to tell me you don't think that there's a satellite constantly blasting looking for thermo info
There's
in the
like-
woods
there's like 400,000
the Bigfoot is
satellites up there, man.
suddenly,
It took
like
this
cold-blooded
hold on.
so that it can turn its
No, it took
body
this
temperature
country
down.
what 4 years to find out if Trump was a Russian spy, and now it's taken another
We
what,
said no
4 years.
politics at the
no,
table.
No, I'm just saying. And now it's taken another 4 years to see if Biden gets checks from China. Come on, we can't figure that out. We can't figure out if there's a big
Well, it's because there's no satellites around us.
That's another
No.
conspiracy, though.
So here's something to consider, though, because there are new species discovered all the time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, new
So-
species of like plants and bugs, not
Okay.
of like giant woolly mammoth walking creatures.
You guys keep being naysayers, man.
They're haters. Listen, there's a gas station in Estes Park,
Oh,
Colorado,
there you go.
that I went to,
And
and the guy
they proved
worked in
it.
the register.
He
I'm not
saw.
saying he's credible, but there was a lot of pictures on the wall behind him where he went Bigfoot hunting and found footprints.
There you
I
go.
have a lot of friends, seriously, that do believe full-heartedly in Bigfoot.
The best thing about this conversation is when Philip was like, hold on. I know a guy.
I went to a gas station.
Yeah, right.
Colorado.
There's a
Yeah.
gas
Now-
somewhere somewhere out in
will-
BFE, Colorado.
No, it's
And
right in the
he
middle of
was
town.
credible. He wasn't
Yeah.
that high when he was talking to us. He was credible
He
now.
swore up and down in footprints.
But wait,
That
Matt.
wasn't
his.
his daddy.
Matt lived out there. Matt, what'd you experience,
It was Matt.
man?
It was Matt the whole time.
Yeah, Matt is
I
like 9
can't
foot
grow a
tall.
mustache. You think I can grow enough body hair to be disguised as a Bigfoot?
You can put on a suit.
Have you seen his mustache? Just like a little caterpillar. I
Yeah.
tried to encourage him to shave it off and like put it on a plaque and just save it, but he wouldn't do it. So.
Blackens what?
It's rude as fuck.
But no, it's like this little woolly worm of a.
Matt, I was saying that you could dress up in a Bigfoot costume and run.
Yeah, you could. Matt, did you have any experiences with big? Because you climbed rocks. You were out in the wilderness all the time in Colorado, right? So
Yeah, I did not.
He didn't stop at that same gas station.
He didn't go to Estes Park.
I mean, and let's be like completely honest. I'm definitely not going to put myself in a situation to do that
okay, yeah,
because
all right.
that stuff like scares the bejesus out of me. I have this overwhelmingly irrational fear of dinosaurs.
So you're scared of dinosaurs
Are you
and
serious?
Bigfoot?
Oh, I'm petrified of dinosaurs.
You know, like live
There-
chickens. Yeah, he's like, fuck that. You know, that's why we cook.
I
them.
know where you came from. Get out of here.
Really?
Oh God, I'm petrified. Jurassic Park. Don't tell me.
See, so he's not. We
Not
can't
happening.
rely on Matt.
I know, man. What the hell?
telling you, he's
Dinosaurs
out
have been
there.
extinct forever, but Bigfoot is out there.
Segment
somewhere.
2 needs to be about everyone's greatest fears.
I'm just telling you what. And Yetis. I mean, the abominable snowman, the Yetis.
I believe that more so than I do.
Okay.
Bigfoot.
See,
It
they're all,
depends,
I
man.
think
They're like the same thing depending
Yeah,
on where
but-
they're from.
but-
Like, it's
there's
like
like cave drawings of this stuff.
But
I
the
think at one
abominable
time, I think
snowman,
there was
like, there's
some- it may not
less
be there now.
people.
people believe there's
there.
cave drawings of UFOs, but also you got to go back in that time and realize everyone's just fucking stupid.
well, man, how do you think they built the pyramids? It wasn't people, man. They had
Okay.
UFOs.
Oh, now
with
we're getting
no
deep.
s-
Okay.
Oh god.
Let's talk
Hey,
to Jeff.
Let's jump back.
Joe
and talk,
Rogan.
Let's jump back and
Yeah,
talk
it
about
was
the,
the Younger Dryas impact theory.
Yeah.
Here we go.
let's talk about the whiskey because we're like way off the rails here. So, who wants to?
I'm getting.
have you
What was
tasted?
the topic for this round?
There
It
was
was
no
Bigfoot.
topic.
I'm getting a little bit of
UFOs.
Bigfoot.
Okay.
Just stupid shit was topic number 1. I was trying to get into like things that I geek out about, and you guys went back to the fake shit.
No,
Bigfoot's
like
not fake.
no, I geek out. Like I love ocean stuff.
Yeah.
There's more land. Like we know less about the ocean than we do what's in the land or in space. Like I mean,
That's a good point.
Megalodons. I would like to see a megalodon.
Yeah, there you go. The Meg, man.
that was my nickname.
Oh, that movie. Don't watch,
Never saw the movie.
No, it was
don't watch
not.
them.
Never saw it.
And don't
The
watch
movie's
the
good.
Meg
The
2.
movie's
It's even
good.
worse. No,
The movie's-
the Meg 2 is even worse. They go in the bottom of the ocean through some little, I don't
Like
know.
Sharknado.
It gets to that
So
point.
it's basically a higher
They go through-
budget.
They go to the
Sharknado.
deepest
Okay,
parts of
yeah.
the ocean, and they pass through a membrane, and then there's dinosaurs on there running
It's
around.
pretty
underneath.
insane, you
You
know.
probably shouldn't
Wait,
watch it. You'll
Interstellar.
get
You shouldn't watch it, Matt. There's dinosaurs, man.
Oh yeah,
You shouldn't watch. I watched Land of the Lost with my son this weekend. You shouldn't watch that because there's dinosaurs and they're scary.
I mean, even
Which one? The one with Will Ferrell?
Yeah,
or-
Will Ferrell. Yeah,
Land Before Time. Like, nah.
That's what I was trying to think of. I'm like, what was that movie when we were kids?
yeah.
Yeah, Matt.
The
I think
Legend
it
of
was-
Boggy Creek. It'll scare the shit.
No,
out
that
of
was your family video.
Mark, that came out in 1893.
That was Christmas 1991. for you.
That was
That was a silent movie.
Abraham Lincoln showed that at the White House.
That was at the Ford Theater that night. Actually, unfortunately, that was the end. That
That's
was
his family's claim to fame.
that was the end of Abraham for the
He's
viewing.
like, it's so bad. Someone please shoot me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. God, can we said no politics. Now we're back to
That's not
politics.
politics. That's just a factual thing that happened.
Who wants to talk about what this whiskey tastes like? Anybody?
Philip started a second ago.
Yeah.
Philip?
Come on, Philip. Yeah.
Well, I said it tastes like Bigfoot musk.
God.
No, it's actually really good. It is a little light on the flavor. You can tell it's young.
Yeah.
But I do get a lot of the nice grassy. The nose kind of carries over to the palate for me.
Gotcha. Matt, what about you, man?
Yeah, I like the palate on this. I do think, like Philip was saying, it's young. Nice and oily, though. Definitely has a good mouthfeel, good and oily. A lot of hay, a lot of like tea. I get black tea a little bit on the palate. I don't think
Tons of tea.
that the 4 grains, like the wheat, doesn't really shine too much in this. Spicy finish, kind of like front mid palate finish. So
Yeah. Stacy?
Agreed with previous parties. Do get a little bit of the cereal grain.
As per my prior email.
Please see my prior response. No, I get a little bit of cereal coming across on the palate, whereas I didn't get as much of that on the nose. But I am getting just a little bit of that rye spice, as Matt said, front mid palate.
Gotcha.
It does not drink like it's 104.
Chad just killed his. What do you think, Chad?
It's all right. It is a little thin. There is some nice oils to it. Like it does have some nice legs. Like even in the glass after I drink it, good textures. I don't know. It's kind of basic. It had a little bit of mint. The nose, the palate and the nose to me were very similar. It had light fruitiness on the palate, but that could have been because of the beer. I don't know. The beer might be helping it. But I don't hate it. But like Matt said, the wheat doesn't show through. Like there's just not a lot there. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Curious to see what it would be like with some more age on it.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
I
it-
think it has a good, solid foundation.
It has a really nice like honey black tea note to it. Like I mean, like if you told someone, you know, this tastes like honey black tea, and they drink tea, they're gonna be like, oh, you know, yeah, 100%.
I think it's an approachable rye
But would
for
you-
those that aren't super into rye.
It also doesn't drink like I will say this. It does not drink like 104.
No.
I would think 90.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It drinks easy, and then I would if just tasting it and not knowing, I would never think it's a 4 grain. I would say it's just a straight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you spend $69 on it though?
No.
No.
negative.
Yeah.
But we're jumping ahead here. What do you think about it?
What do I think about it?
what do you think?
I got corn came through almost like a corn flake, the sweetness and that corn note came through, but then there was that rice, the little bit of spice came through for me, a little mintiness as well. But yeah, there's just not a lot to it. I do think it drank lower than the 104, like you said. And it's an easy drinker. But again, at $69-$70, that's probably not one that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I got to go get it.
I'm all about supporting like younger age dated craft stuff. But
Sure.
if this was $50,
Yeah.
I'd be all
Yeah.
about it. But 70, I don't know. $50, I'm like, you drink it, make really good I think it's make great cocktails.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. $70, man. It's kind of a.
It's kind of a throwback label. You know, it's kind of
Oh, the label is gorgeous.
I do love the label,
Yep.
and
Oh, shit.
it's a
yeah.
$900
My first
mark.
time on
you might
camera. I
wanna
don't know
hold
what to
that
do with
back.
my hands.
Let's take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ricky Bobby.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. Wild
It
packs
is-
of dogs.
It is a really nice label.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is. All right. So I think we all agree on this one. It's probably going to be,
A mixture.
yeah.
If they drop the price a little bit, that would
Agreed.
be a fixture.
Yeah.
I like I said, I am curious to see what future releases will be like. If it was a
Sure.
little bit older,
Yeah. If this is really only 2 years old,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know, right?
Yeah, at least 2 years old. So I mean, like it says, I assume these are the barrels on there. So a barrel from 2018, 16, 17, and 15. So I mean, we're looking. I guess this batch would come from 2020. I don't know because why would you put at least 2 years on there and then have a 5-year-old barrel as your youngest barrel in there?
That's weird. Yeah, why would you? Yeah.
So I assume this is just an older batch. So even
Label
then,
says hand toasted, right?
hand toasted.
I think this could be a little better in some more char.
Yeah.
What is a char 4? So they didn't do a char.
okay.
They didn't do a char 5 on this one.
Okay, so it's just a toasted and charred barrel, or a charred then toasted barrel. I would assume.
I would assume.
I don't know.
How would you toast after char?
Same way you do it before you do a char.
Put it in a new barrel.
Huh?
Switch it into a new
Oh, you're talking about a
Yeah.
new barrel.
No, I was talking like they char it, and then they fucking just go in a little bit of heat, and like they're doing it by hand. I mean, they're doing it by hand. I don't know.
I think it would be in a different barrel.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
they.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
hand
it doesn't
toast
say toasted rye whiskey though.
Good point.
So unless it was a
lot of
toasted,
conspiracies going on.
There we go, man. We're going to have to
All
figure
right,
this
so I got
one
a
out,
question for everybody.
Right? Uh-oh.
How does Bigfoot tell time?
Oh, I have no idea.
With his Sasquatch.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, and with that said, guys, we have reached the end of round 1. Fortunately,
joke was so bad, Ray Charles seen it coming.
I say, I think we're gonna take a
I'm gonna
break.
have to remember that one.
We may just end the episode here. I'm not sure. So, but
This is it. We're just like,
this is it. Yeah, that's it. Signing off. I got a cease and desist letter just now. Crazy. We're not
Make sure you leave us a review on your favorite podcast, whatever that is.
Yeah, we're
Ray
not.
Charles
Thank all
family,
of our
if you're
sponsors
listening.
tonight.
Everybody that's traveling this next week is going to love this episode.
Yeah, happy
hey, look, we're giving them
Thanksgiving.
ammunition for when they get to their Thanksgiving party.
Lots of shit
Oh,
to
this
talk
is
about.
Oh, see,
Great
this is
idea.
This will be a lot of good things to talk
Giving
about.
all
So
kinds of
This is
next
what
up
you
is
shouldn't talk about at Thanksgiving.
next up is politics.
No.
No, next is UFOs.
All right,
Now we're gonna end on religion.
we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back. I think, maybe with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Three Chords line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The Three Chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they called Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
From our good friends at The Stave comes Lexington's newest hotspot to meet up with friends, have fun, and eat some great food. District 7 Social is a social and beer hall, but it's a lot more than that. Located in Lexington's Distillery District, it's the home of Lexington's first duck pin bowling lanes, and it also features a self-serve beer wall. That's right, self-serve. And if you want more, they've got it. You can try one of their delicious cocktails from the bar or order some great German fusion food from their on-site eatery, Germanish. So what are you waiting for? Be seen, be social. District 7 Social.
All right, everybody, welcome back for round 2 of the Bourbon Life podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here live tonight in the Bourbon Life Studios around the rectangular table, it's my whatever they are people.
It's the Crewsgiving show.
It's the Crewsgiving. Yes,
Yeah.
we got Chad. Oh, are you both going to do that? Stacy is here too.
Is everybody going to throw out their Instagram handles? I remember when we first started doing these shows and you all were like really trying to advertise for yourselves.
Yeah,
for your
no.
Instagram
I don't give a
handles, and now you're
shit.
just like,
Nobody cares.
No, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
If people want to follow me or unfollow me, that's on you.
It's on you. That's right. It's your loss or your gain, right?
I get a lot of cryptocurrency followers.
You know,
And I don't
get
know why, because I don't follow this page.
I get a lot of Russian ladies.
Oh, I bet you do.
Not interested,
Uh-huh.
by the way.
Yeah. I bet you,
Was
bet you
married
do.
to one.
Panama Red.
That's
I'm not-
Svetlana. She's been trying to get hold of you for a little bit.
Svetlana, you can go on back to Russia because I'm not.
She has one leg. Yeah. Like on Sopranos. So,
Anyway,
Matt's here too. Hey, Matt. What's up, man?
I'm here.
Yeah. And Philip.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
And
Hey,
Philip.
man, you didn't even show off your shirt, but you're going to have to Yeah, yeah.
Oh
you
yeah,
gotta
that's
hit
a missed opportunity.
There you
for
go.
last
You
episode.
missed it from the last
our
round.
last segment.
Yeah.
Why'd you just like thrust the table when you did that?
Well,
Because I got a big dick.
oh gosh! Wow.
He's bringing that big dick
Man.
energy, not that cocktail.
I got
cocktail
that
energy.
Bigfoot energy.
Yeah, Philip also drives like a Ford 9F50. You know.
Ooh, wow. There you go. Dually diesel turbo.
No,
Yeah.
actually, I'm driving a
Extended-
Honda
Hey,
Civic.
I want
Extended
everyone
cab.
to notice. I don't know if my camera can catch this, but I wanted to match Rucker this evening.
In the. Thank you, Stacy.
And the what Mark called it, the 3/4 length. zip.
Whatever it is, man.
3/4 zip.
The 916 sip.
Yeah, whatever. I'm so happy we're all back together.
Welcome
Matt,
to the abuse hour.
Yeah, we had a wonderful dinner before this all started.
That's funny. I even forgot we had dinner before all that. I forgot that I cooked for everybody.
Yes.
We had some delicious ribs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
wait,
right.
Hey, don't talk.
we
about
can't talk about that yet. Let's talk about the
what the
side,
hell?
our delicious side dish.
The side.
Oh, yeah. We did green beans.
Yeah,
So,
not just green beans.
I mean, hard to go wrong with some bacon, onion, garlic,
Mm-hmm.
and green beans, a little bit of toasted sesame seed.
You put some honey in there.
I did put a little bit of honey in there. That's right, a little sweetness. And then we finished that off with a rye, and that was the Pinhook 5-year
The tis rye time.
his rye time. I wanted something a little herbal to
Yeah.
kind of play, brighten up some of the fattiness and the bacon smokiness. So some of that on top. And then we did the ribs, did the 6-hour oven roast.
That's
spare rib.
next round. Don't talk about the ribs.
Next round's dessert.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
We
duh.
haven't even had dessert.
All right.
No.
We're gonna do it like in the break, I think. Right?
Sure.
Yeah. So go ahead.
What,
I'm
I don't even know
sorry.
what dessert it is.
Well,
Let,
it's a
let Matt
surprise.
run the show. He's the chef.
Matt, go ahead and tell us about the
Oh,
ribs.
so yeah,
man. I'm
then
sorry.
we did ribs. Nice dry rub that I made on the ribs.
I've heard Matt's an expert at the dry rub.
Now, let me tell you, Matt's rub's good.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Matt.
I'm calling HR.
It's old Big Beef certified.
Tell us about how you rubbed
Tell
your
us
meat.
about your dry rub, Matt. But seriously, I do want to know, what did you put
Yes.
in your dry rub?
How'd you rub your meat? Please tell us.
Shut the fuck up, Rucker. What did you put on the dry rub? Grow up. All of you.
Mr. and Mrs. Hughes, if you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
I
I'm going to tell them to
apologize.
skip this one.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Continue.
My-
Matt,
Oh.
what did you...
It's kind of a smorgasbord, brown sugar, cinnamon, paprika, a little bit of clove, nutmeg. I like ginger.
He basically just took all the bourbon flavors.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a bourbon flavor.
One of my favorites, allspice. I put allspice on them as well. Thyme, honey. Not honey. Mustard. Mustard powder is
yeah.
a favorite of mine.
Okay.
Mine
to
too.
do on ribs. So I think it
So
goes
not
a long
actual
way.
mustard like as a binding
No,
agent,
mustard-
but actual
mustard
mustard
powder.
powder.
The powder's a nice touch because I hate mustard, but like mustard powder,
Yeah,
always
kind of gives like
Hmm.
a little
love
bit of heat
mustard.
tang. There was probably some chipotle on there too. Onion, garlic, of course.
Yeah.
So you're like me. You just get everything
Yeah,
out of
more
the
or less.
cabinet. and you're
Yeah.
like,
Like,
Sounds
if you
like
own the seasoning, you put it on your meat. It's kind of how it works.
Yeah, don't ask me to tell you how much of everything I put on there.
that is how I cook too.
Yeah.
Just put it on there, and then afterwards, wrap them in foil. Take all the juices that come off there, put them in a pan, and we boiled that down to make a sauce with some Garrison Brothers, their small batch, 94 proof Texas bourbon whiskey, and a little bit of honey in there as well with some apple cider vinegar just to give it a little bit of tang.
And
Nice.
they were delicious. And
Like
they
the
fell
bones,
right off the bone.
literally
dude.
just like
Yeah. Well, it's
Right
funny
up.
because Matt brought his meat over last night and left it for
And
me.
you finished that meat for him.
and I put it in the oven today at noon. So
You did. You completed my meat.
yeah, I did. So it cooked for like
So, Matt, you-
6.5 hours.
you
or
let
so.
Matt put his meat in your oven.
Yes, 6.5 hours. We cooked his meat. Yeah, and the au jus.
That's a long time. Are you tired?
Yeah, the au jus was delicious, Matt. The juices that your meat produced was delicious as well. I mean, it
A
was
little salty, but
yeah, it was good though. So, but anyway, so let's talk about what we have poured up. I've got the bottle here. So we've got in round 2 here.
Hold on.
What we got?
So,
Old Granddad
yep.
114.
So tell us about Old Granddad 114, Marcus.
What about it? I
I mean,
love it.
if anyone here knows about Old Granddad 114, it's you.
I don't know anything about it. I just know it's the high rye mash bill.
You don't
Right.
know anything
Don't
about
know
Old
anything
Granddad
about Old
114.
Granddad 114.
It's 114 proof.
You don't know anything. Who is Old Granddad?
Old Granddad is Old Granddad.
No, but who is he?
Basil Hayden.
Okay.
So it's Basil Hayden. He's right
I thought
there.
it was Bigfoot.
Yeah, he's right there on the label.
That's Bigfoot
right?
Basil.
So it is a Beam produced brand now.
Say about big feet.
What is the mash
Big
bill on
socks.
that one? Like
right.
63, 27, 10?
I don't know. You're the master of whiskey.
No, I'm a master of bourbon.
This is bourbon.
It is bourbon, yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I think it's like 63, 27.
So you should still know what that is if you're a master.
I think it's 63. It's the same thing as the Basil Hayden mash bill.
Yeah. It's high rye. It's
I
high,
believe
up
it's,
there.
I
Yeah.
believe,
Yeah.
again, it's 63.
Younger though. This is what, like 4 to
Yeah,
4
it's
to
like-
6,
It says
maybe.
it uses. Let's see. It's made from a unique recipe that uses more of the costly small grains.
Has more rye in it.
Has
It's-
more
it's,
rye.
It's a higher rye mash bill. They're just trying to make it sound like
Yeah.
fucking fancy.
And, the thing is, you bought that bottle today, 26 bucks, right?
That price has gone down.
At Kroger, yeah.
Yeah,
it
because
has.
it has been 29, but it used to be 19. And Costco, somebody posted on Facebook the other day somewhere that
Yeah,
it was at Costco for like $19.99, and I saw it earlier this year.
For the
at our-
114, really?
Yeah,
at our
I saw
Costco.
it at Costco for like 16 and
Yeah.
16,
Oh, was it
75
16?
or something.
I seen it. Yeah, I seen
Okay.
like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was less. It was like 16 something.
It had like a whole
Game on. I'm
pallet
going
of it.
back to Costco.
Well, I wanted
So-
to buy it, and Brittany's like, you can't buy it because it's cheap. And I also have like 5
Not
bottles
cheap,
at
it's
home.
Have you not
expensive.
educated her yet?
Yeah,
I've got like 5 bottles of it at home anyway. She don't know
I was
that.
going to say,
But, yeah.
I think I have 6. I mean, I've got at least 5, maybe 6 bottles. The rumor was a couple
It was
years
going
ago
away.
it was going away. So
And then
now-
it did become hard to find.
But now, because everybody's like,
Yeah, but
damn,
it's
this is really
all
good.
damn rumor.
And I
Yeah.
think they quit putting it in the boxes.
So, but what
You
about
used to be able to get it in the box.
Yeah.
what about Costco? The fact that it's at Costco, does that mean that it is going to go away? Are they like
No.
shipping out everything, getting rid of it?
No, I mean, like Kroger had a lot of it.
All right.
So I don't think it's going in.
No, at my
Don't start another conspiracy.
Can I start a rumor?
we were getting it like that rumor's already come and gone. It happens like every 2 years.
Can we start it again?
No,
No.
We found that at Costco,
because you're gonna hear it and you're gonna believe your own lie.
and everything goes to Costco when it's going to go out of business.
I think
It's
that's
only if
true.
it's got to have a little
Asterisk.
There's something. Yeah, it's got to have.
They never put Heaven Hill 6-year green label or the white label in there.
Yeah.
Like neither one of those hit Costco whenever they're going away. Heaven Hill's just we're not canceling it. It's canceled.
It's gone. Well, they didn't cancel it. They just
No, they canceled it.
they aged it another year and charged you 3 times as much.
And it doesn't even taste as good.
I'm just going to set up and say it.
No.
Heaven Hill pisses me off when they do that stuff.
I don't know.
You're my
Don't you-
favorite
don't you
distillery.
blaspheme about Heaven Hill?
I love their products, but
Yeah.
that shit pisses me
I don't think it tastes as good. I'm just gonna say it.
Matt, that's your baby over there, the 15-year or the
It is.
6-year-old.
It is. The 6-year is a very close to my heart. And I got
No, I love the.
I think the 7-year is a miss.
I agree.
mean,
the
yes,
it's a 7-year.
Yes, it's
6-year.
good, but it's just a former shadow of itself.
For $45.
But
versus
it's just one of those things of where
15,
like,
right?
yeah, we loved it because of the value. This is going
Sure.
a completely different direction of this segment's supposed to, but we loved it because of the value. I mean, and then they realized it's like Henry McKenna, $60-$70 now. They're realizing their value. They're really, it's
Yeah.
all the good stuff, and everyone, don't tell the secret, yada yada. All that's these brands are figuring this shit out. If they're taking loss leaders, and if you don't know what a loss leader is, a loss leader is something that like literally they sell a shit ton of and make no money on it, but they put their name out there. They're turning those into premium products. Premium is defined by like $35 plus in the alcohol market. So they're turning them into that, and they're actually making a profit on this shit now.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I think they should go back to not making a profit.
I agree. I agree. When I walked into Total Wine today, they had Henry McKenna sitting
$69.
on the allocated
Yeah.
table, and I just walked right past it.
It's hard to stomach.
I've seen
I had it at Kroger today for
Liquor Barn's got some in their
57.
case. It's been there for about 2 months.
Wow, dude.
Not interested.
Over by me.
60 some bucks. 60.
Yeah.
I think it's $68.90.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, I knew it was like right at $70, basically.
But I mean,
Hard
it's also one of
Which
those things like it's a 10-year single barrel.
used to
bottle.
be $35, but
Used to be. When I was buying it at Moorhead, it was $18.99.
so let's talk about that versus like Eagle Rare, right? Which you can't find. It's allocated, but when you can find it, it used to be, 20 some bucks. Now it's maybe $30. When you find it, $32. So
More than that.
More than that.
Is it
yeah,
really?
It's more than that.
Yeah, it's like
I-
50 something now.
Yeah.
Eagle Rare, regular,
Yeah.
Like the average price, I think it's about $50. I think it's still supposed to SRP for like $35.
Where have I been, man?
Dude,
Not
hiding
buying
under a
Eagle
rock.
Getting your hookups out of the cost.
But also,
don't get hookups.
I used to talk so much shit about Eagle Rare
Yeah.
because when I first had it, I'm like, it's not that great. And there are other things that I like better.
But
we also used to
I-
be a single barrel.
But I tasted some a couple weeks ago, And I was like, shit, okay, this is good.
Some of
But
their-
I'm not going to
Cherry Cola
spend that.
Bomb.
I'm not going to spend that kind of money on it.
I get it. But some of those single barrel picks are just
Oh,
Yeah,
the single barrel
the single
picks are
barrels.
phenomenal.
Freaking
If you
awesome.
guys go to Evergreen liquor store, they have a lot of those picks, especially the one down in Bardstown.
all right. Evergreen, you can now sponsor the podcast. Send us some
Yeah,
more, please.
Evergreen will hook up with
Well,
you.
and I'm wondering because, like, you know, living in Frankfurt, I still see everybody waiting in line for bottles of Blanton's and things like that at the
Right.
distillery.
Yeah.
Eagle Rare now, they only have it a couple times a month.
Oh, do they?
Everything else, like the E.H. Taylor small batch,
Right.
Blanton's,
Well, yeah, because they're dropping the H and all that shit.
the Weller,
So, like, small-
Special Reserve, they have that all the time, and the Sazerac Rye. But the Eagle Rare, it's pretty rare. That
And they got to save it. It's got to be, it's 10-year, right? So
But yeah, it's got to be 10 year. I mean, but like Taylor Small Batch went from like a 9 year to 8 year, 7 years. Now it's like 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
And then, I mean, Blanton's is 4 and 5. Weller went from 8, 9 year age range, like on the low end, to now it's like 4 to 5. Buffalo Trace is like 7-ish. I don't know. I heard Freddie on a podcast, and he's like, "We're trying to keep it around 7." Like, there's no trying. Like, it can happen. Y'all can.
Yeah,
it used to
you
be
either
8
do
year.
or
Like it
you
used to be
don't.
like age a minimum of 8 years on there.
Right.
Like, but yeah.
Interesting. Well, guys, we didn't talk about the nose on this.
Got carried away.
We forgot. Chad, what do you get, man?
For me, I get a little bit of peanut brittle, salted peanut shells, good caramel toffee, butterscotch, a lot of the brown notes, brown sugar. It's got a touch of black pepper, a little ethanol hit with that 114. But then the nose kind of rounds out with a nice vanilla sweetness with that brown sugar and toffee notes I mentioned earlier. Kind of, in a weird way, it smells creamy. Like it smells kind of like, you know, when you're baking and you have all those smells together. Like, I think it smells good. It's just, like I was saying earlier, I think it tastes different and it knows it's different. I used to get a lot of leather, tobacco, and like rich, robust, oaky, heavy, dark notes. Now it's a lot more sweet and bright, you
Interesting.
know, with the sugars and the citrus.
Gotcha. Philip, what about you, man?
Jim Beam products usually always hit me right in my wheelhouse, and this is the same thing.
It's right there.
Yeah, this like the Knob Creek standard 9 year 100 proof. This is it nose is a little lighter than the 9 year, so I mean I would guess it's probably like 5 or 6, but
Yeah.
it's got that peanutty aroma. This is like if I'm picking a bourbon out of a lineup, this style is my go-to.
Gotcha. Matt?
I gotta echo, I think, what Chad was saying with a lot of the toffee and butterscotch flavors. I used to always pick up cherry on this one.
Yeah.
I'm not picking it up right now. To me, I'm getting a little more of cream corn. I think the corn is kind of coming across a little bit more. There's a cracked pepper in the rye, and some of the grain in the rye is certainly there as well. I would be curious to compare this to even just a bottle from a few years ago.
Right over there, we'll grab one.
And see if there are any differences.
Yeah, we can do that. Stacey?
So this one reminds me, we're talking about holidays. My mom makes Christmas crack. Not real crack.
Oh, is that like the
Guys.
butter and Ritz cracker?
So she'll do like Ritz crackers and like pretzels, a little bit of the peanut butter, a little bit of like toffee chips in them. That's what this reminds me of.
Nice.
I will agree. I used to get a lot more cherry influence from previous batches. This one is a little bit more bright. I like it. This is a Jim Beam nose to me, but it is a little bit more light on the nose.
I get like ribs.
You getting shrimp on this one
Maybe
too?
maybe some
Little shrimp and grits.
polenta. That first shelf there. Open that first cabinet there, Philip. There you go. Top shelf. There you go. That's a several-year-old bottle, I'm sure. Does it say lot 1?
Yeah, they all say lot one.
yeah.
I wasn't joking.
was
They
a
all
big
say
lot.
lot one.
What's that?
It was a big lot.
Yeah, it was a very big lot.
Big lots.
Yes.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Color.
But no, I mean I love that. I
pretty
get the brown
consistent.
sugar, vanilla, but yeah, I don't get that cherry. Like I seems like you guys are talking about that, but that was one of the things that really I loved about it was
That one's way darker.
that kind of
so?
cherry. The
Think
older
so?
one, you think the older one's darker? So anyway, so we just opened that bottle. We were going to talk about some neck pours, which is a theory that people have. So who wants to talk about their neck pour theory, Chad?
All right, so we can get literal, and we'll get literal here. It's like when people hear about neck pours, they're like, all you have to do is just turn it, and then there's no more neck pour. It's all mixed up in the bottle.
So how? Let's first for our listeners, what is the neck pour?
So the neck pour for people who believe in a neck pour, the smart people. The neck
Here
pour.
we go.
It is the first
wow.
pour
Hey,
out of a bottle.
Let's have some of that.
So it's what's in the neck. It's what's in the neck, or the neck of the bottle. So this is called the neck. So it's what's in the neck of the bottle. We were having this conversation off air, and it kind of just bled into on air.
Sorry.
I was not here.
You were in the bathroom.
Had I been here, this conversation probably wouldn't be
typical.
happening.
You were in the bathroom.
Whatever.
Pour me some up, Stacey.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you.
Can I get it, please?
Thank you.
Cocktail.
But yeah, so and like we were talking about, I had a boss who I used to work for who thought that was dumb to talk about neck pours because we would open bottles, do tastings in stores, and he was like, "Don't mention neck pour, never mention neck pour." But then he didn't believe in the neck pour. And I'm like, okay, that does make sense. So the whole thought process there is that it's always a little more bitter. It's not as opened up. The air's not hit it, and we're going in.
No, you keep talking. No, I don't have a glass. Somebody needs to glass me up, please. Thank you, Philip. Yeah, go ahead, Chad.
But no,
with your stupid theory. I mean, your theory.
You don't believe in neck pours?
No, let's get into this then.
Okay, hold on. You don't believe in neck pours? You don't think. So when you open something, you don't think a bottle opens up with time?
I think a bottle opens up.
Well, yeah, that's the idea of a neck. So you believe in a neck pour.
What's your definition of a neck pour? Because Chad and I are on the same wavelength here.
I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I don't believe that a neck pour. I think once you open a bottle, even if you didn't pour it and you just you opened it and let air in, put the cork back in, it's still going to take that oxygen, and that oxygen is going to interact.
Right.
Yeah, that's the whole theory of a neck pour.
But your first initial pour is going to taste different.
Okay, but let me ask you
Then
this.
once you open it up.
We just cracked that bottle that Philip brought. We've had 6 pours. What's the neck pour? The first person?
It's not, no.
No.
That's a good
The neck pour is your first initial pop. First initial pop of
You open
the
the
bottle.
bottle before it gets the air.
That's not a neck pour then.
Stop. Shut up. It's my what I'm saying. A neck pour is before a bottle has any, like when you first open it, not the physical neck pour, not what's here.
That is
just
how I
when you
identify
open
as
it.
well.
I don't care if you drain the whole damn bottle before it gets any air to it and has time to open up. If you believe it opens up with time, then that means that you believe there is a neck pour because it is basically more concentrated when you open it. The whiskey's in the neck of the bottle. When you open it, it's more concentration, more ethanol.
Nope.
Correct?
Nope.
You don't believe that? You don't so you just
But you believe that a whiskey can open up with time.
Sure.
So where can you meet us in the middle on
do you
this?
like fish sticks?
Because
Gordon's Fisherman.
I totally
Only with mashed potatoes and mac and cheese.
I totally understand what you're saying, Chad. And I get what you're saying, Mark, but not as much. But also, like, I want to know where you're coming from on that. Like,
Here's where I'm coming from.
I feel like there is a big misconception about
number one.
pours.
I'm not going to call it a neck pour because that is the dumbest
it
thing
is
in the world to
stupid.
call.
It's
What are you going to call it? The
stupid.
fat bottom girl pour? Jesus Christ.
No, I'm gonna call it.
First pour?
I'm gonna call it the first pour out
But
of the bottle.
most people are not going to call it that.
Okay, but a neck pour just sounds stupid because it makes it sound
does
like
sound fucking
there's
stupid,
alcohol
and that's
coming.
why we're talking about it.
There's alcohol that comes from the very top of the bottle that's going to be different than the alcohol that's in the bottom of the barrel, and that's at the bottle, and that's not right. It's just once oxygen gets in there and interacts with the whiskey, yes, it will open up, and yes, it can change its profile over time. There's no question about that, but that's not.
I want you to forget about the physical.
Yeah,
the physical
term neck.
Neck pour comes because the whiskey's in the neck of the bottle.
But it's a terrible.
Marcus, let me
phrase.
talk. Forget about the physical location of the whiskey.
Correct.
You want first pour. The first pour will be different than the pour you have in 2 weeks.
I agree.
I agree.
But
He believes in a neck pour, ladies and gentlemen. Miracles do happen.
But listen,
Hallelujah.
that's what
Matt, what do you think, Matt?
the common people will say. Neck pour
No,
Just
I don't.
that's just
I
the
don't-
cool
I don't
thing to
think-
say.
I don't think common people think that's what the neck pour is. That the bottle's
Really?
gonna,
Let's do a poll.
we should do that.
Let's
I'll
do
do
a
that on
fucking
Instagram.
poll.
Let's do a poll. Hey, you know
do
what?
it.
You want to do some Patreon content? I got some Patreon content for you.
Yeah, same. Because
Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I don't
Chad.
think people think that's
It's real. So, like for me, well,
Unlike
you have
Bigfoot, the neck pour is real.
Like on this bottle, you have such a compressed area of air.
Here,
that's
let's
in
just
that
show
bottle.
this.
So, as someone who has physically distilled liquor,
That doesn't mean that the
When-
neck pour is gone,
yes,
guys.
yeah.
That doesn't mean.
that air is still in the bottle.
Yes.
And when you open it up, it will taste different. Even if it's tomorrow, it's going to taste different than the first time you open it.
I agree.
yes. So can we just say that the characteristics of a bottle will change over time versus saying it's a neck pour?
I think
Well,
that
so
we just
the-
need to get
the-
rid of the terminology of neck
The whole
pour.
argument, though, is there are people who who argue no, it doesn't change with time, and they argue like, okay, well, wait for it to open up. And like, okay, that's stupid.
No, that's
Nothing
not-
opens up.
that's-
like
people-
that's the argument we were having
Yeah.
was a neck pour is basically pre-opened up, aired out whiskey.
All right, Matt, what do you think?
I believe in it.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet on our side.
I think once a bottle is
Mark's
open,
wrong.
the first pour, the first session with it, if you will, or call it neck pour, call it Primus Noctum, first night win, whatever you want.
I like that. Primus
Can we
Noctum.
get a T-shirt? What is it? What's Primus
goodness.
Noctum?
Primus
Can we
Noctum,
get a-
first night?
First night.
Yeah.
Let's get
I have an
t-shirts
Ohio
made.
education.
It's Latin, man. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a lawyer. Fuck off.
Let's do it.
Text me that.
Yeah. Primus.
You're gonna put it on a
I'll put
t-shirt.
it on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Matt-
hey,
Philip's gonna
they're the
t-shirt
band who
that.
does the intro to South Park, right?
Well, no one had a big brown beer.
So
Oh,
now,
wait, no.
I could
Wrong
be,
promise.
I could differ from them. I feel like it's more noticeable in a younger bourbon.
I think
Okay.
it's more noticeable in a pot still bourbon.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Pot still,
like
100%.
a pot still bourbon,
Yeah.
whiskey, whatever. When you first open it, is like
Yeah.
you don't know
Look,
what you're getting
I
yourself
am
into.
not arguing with you guys that the characteristics of a whiskey will change in a bottle once it's open.
But that's what Chad and I are trying to say
but
is
to-
people saying neck pour.
But to call it,
That's what they're-
if I agree with you on the point that yes, it changes over time, can we agree to call it something other
but
than
that's what we're trying to
first pour.
say is
The neck
first
pour.
pour. The neck pour is AKA first pour.
But even if you say the first pour, because he had first pour, he had second pour, third pour.
Now you're
fourth
getting
pour,
too.
fifth
So
pour.
now you're getting a smart ass being literal. So like
I'm
it's
just-
that's the lawyer mentality here.
it is, yeah. Where do we draw the line? There is no line, Marcus.
Anyway,
there is no box.
So let's jump
we
back
can't
to
think
the,
outside of it.
let's Jump back to the whiskey.
The old bottle you have tastes way different than the one Philip bought.
Does it? Okay, I have not tasted it. I've just
That
noticed
tastes
it.
almost like a dusty compared to that.
Does it really? All right, so let's talk about the one Philip brought. What do you get?
Oh,
Taste.
God, it tastes a lot different. Holy shit.
Taste.
That's what I'm saying. That's my conspiracy theory. That
Yep.
So they've changed something production or
I'm guessing
age.
years.
it's got to be age, and so supposedly it used to be a longer fermentation,
Yeah.
slower lower distillation point, and lower entry proof of 114. As they say, apparently it's still 114. I don't know. This tastes way different than that.
But also look at, I mean, we can see the color change. That is like cherry cola compared to straw water,
Sweet tea.
sweet tea. Hold that up.
New bottle,
I mean,
old bottle.
still good.
yeah.
But-
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the newer bottle on the taste has more of those young characteristics. There's more grain, more of like that unrefined, just milled rye grain.
Yeah, right.
That can sometimes be a little bit tannic. A newer one, I think it is almost like overwhelmingly spicy and doesn't come together. It's almost like the proof and the heat is driving more of the palate than the flavor.
Yeah.
The older one that we had open, I am picking up more of those brown sugar, more of the cinnamon,
Yeah.
more of kind of that OGD that we all really love. Some of that cherry comes through, but it's nice and spicy, but the spice fits into it. Whereas I think on the new one, you get almost like this burn on this thinner flavor and palate that just
It's richer. It tastes
Seems
richer. The older one
uncharacteristic.
just.
So I'm just gonna throw this out there. Maybe it's because it's a neck pour.
Hey yo,
It doesn't have time to open up.
Mark is so stressed. I think this was a great segment. By the
I
way.
do too.
It was great.
Now, I will say, like the bottle we tasted 1st, that pot still, it's going to get better as it's open.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so even bourbons are the same way, but definitely there is a difference when the air gets to something that's pot stilled versus now. I know this isn't pot stilled, and I'm sure they've changed it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously something's different.
This is the old bottle is more of like that Knob Creek 9-year.
That
Yes.
cherry cola, a little
Yep.
chocolate,
Yep.
leather,
Yep.
like sweet
Yep.
tobacco.
I'll
Like,
give you all updates on this one.
Yeah.
Tell us how that neck pour.
I'll bring it
worked
back
out.
next. I'll bring
Hey,
it back next month. And we'll
I don't
try
like
it
your
again.
condescending tone over there, Rucker.
No condescension. So we're at the end of round 2.
I
Maybe
object.
we should take a quick break and get a word from our sponsors.
UFOs aren't real.
So 114, what do you think? You guys-
Fixture.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a fixture.
Yeah,
even the new,
yeah,
even the new one.
Yeah,
the
it's
new
still a
one.
fixture. I mean, like all else fails, it's a $25 cocktail whiskey, and
Sure.
I mean, you can't hate that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Put that in a hot toddy, man.
But let it open up.
Fixture.
Let it open up.
Anyway,
Mark on prom night.
we're gonna take a quick break, get a word from our
Cream it up.
sponsors, and we may or may not be back with round 3 with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Hey everybody, it's Mark with the Bourbon Life. And hey, let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make Z-Biotics pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Look, I won't lie. I was a bit on the fence about Z-Biotics pre-alcohol initially, but then when Matt and I were hanging out at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, I gave it a shot. And believe me, it's the real deal. Go to zbiotics.com/bourbon to get 15% off your first order when you use bourbon at checkout.
The Stave Restaurant is a bourbon lover's paradise right here in the heart of bourbon country. Located at 5711 McCracken Pike in Millville, Kentucky, between Castle and Key and Woodford Reserve, Chef Kyle Klatka prepares amazing food each day that features an elevated Kentucky-inspired cuisine. With a full-service bar, great bourbon flights, and signature cocktails, the Stave is the perfect place to catch up with friends after a fun-filled day of touring the local distilleries. Be sure to check them out online at thestavekentucky.com or at Instagram and Facebook at The Stave Kentucky.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the third and thankfully final round of the Bourbon Life podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me tonight, here around the flights of the rectangular table, it's my friends, Stacy.
Why do you look so exhausted? Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
And Chad.
What up?
And Matt.
Hey, what's up, listeners?
And Phil.
What's up?
And hey, I'm Mark.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's ready to quit, everybody. Does anybody want to replace Mark?
So, Chad, you brought us something.
I
Can you tell us
did.
what we're drinking tonight?
So this,
Wait, we don't get to talk about my dessert?
Well, I thought we could talk about that and talk about your dessert.
Okay.
You want to talk about dessert? Matt,
No,
tell us.
Chad, go ahead.
no, Matt, you go ahead.
No.
No.
Because I would rather talk about the dessert.
Matt, I insist. Let's talk about your dessert. We just had dessert, which was part of our Thanksgiving, our Crewsgiving
Cruise.
celebration.
A true, like, first of its kind, one of a kind.
Yeah, one of a kind. I've never
Like-
had it, Matt. So tell us.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've never made it.
Yeah,
So-
it was awesome. Tell us about
I'd
it.
never seen a recipe for it before. But for these episodes, what I've really enjoyed doing the last few years is for the dessert course, making a play on a classic cocktail. So this was a whiskey sour meringue pie.
Yeah.
So the basic recipe-ish for a lemon meringue pie, but instead of there was no plain water that went into this recipe whatsoever. It was all just
Shit.
O.H. Ingram
Whiskey.
I freaking dig it.
straight bourbon whiskey there,
Yeah.
96 proof, river-aged weeded bourbon went in the recipe, and I thought it turned out pretty good.
It was great.
Oh, my God, dude. It was so good.
Yeah. It was funny because, I was sitting up there and had like 4 or 5 bites, and I was like, oh, crap. I'm getting this like on the back of my palate, getting this bite of whiskey. And how much whiskey did you put in that, Matt?
Like a pint.
Fair amount.
in a pot.
It
No,
was
certainly.
so damn good.
4 airplane miles worth.
But it was a substantial amount of bourbon, and then even then, at the end, I said, "Whatever, why not? one more for the road." But I think the bourbon the alcohol did not bake off.
I don't think it did either.
But
had it in
it
the-
wasn't
all the
like
way.
pungent, like when you bit into it, where
Right,
it was like,
right.
oh my God, alcohol. It was like that subtle bite on the back end where you're like, there's still some booze in this. And it was really good.
No, it tasted just like a whiskey sour. Like it
It
tasted
was
like
so good.
I mean, it was so weird to eat that. I mean, because it tasted just like a whiskey sour to make at home. Like it, I don't know. Like it, I loved it. It's
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Al.
need
Yeah.
the recipe.
yeah.
Yep. No, it was delicious, Matt.
Hashtag not Matt.
So. Yeah, the new Instagram site we're going to set up for Matt, not Matt Hughes. So, but very good, man. It was delicious. Thank you so much. So now, Chad, would you like to tell us about what you have? poured?
Yes. So this is Fortuna barrel proof bourbon. It is a blend of 7+ year Kentucky straight bourbon. It's 5-barrel blend, and it comes in at 121.46 proof.
Nice.
Well, there you go. Yeah, should see it now. Oh.
Is that 7 year?
Yep, 7+.
Okay.
So yeah, youngest barrel is 7 years old, and it turned 7. I literally just blended this like the day before I left on vacation. I went to New York City.
Nice. So you are the man. You're the guy.
The master
I-
blender.
You're the master blender.
So if you don't like it, you can tell me.
Suck it.
Just make it sound nice on the air.
What was your philosophy behind it?
So I started with is 19 barrels was my initial start process, and it's like, yes, it's easy. You could just take 19 barrels and throw them together and have a blend. But my boss, Pablo Moy, his whole thing with this brand and like rare character in general, because Fortuna bourbon is a rare character project, is does it taste good? For him, like he thinks I'm forgiving on stuff, so I let some barrels not age as long as they should, or like finish as long, or whatever. So basically, I just had to go into like, would he like this? Does it taste expensive? Like this is gonna SRP. We want it to SRP for around $100. So it's a barrel proof 7+ year small batch bourbon at cask strength for around $100. Will it be that price? Probably not. Probably more than that, because our standard Fortuna goes for around $100, and we want that to SRP for like $65. But his whole thing is like, whenever we do something, does it taste expensive? Not should it be expensive, just does it taste like if he's going to spend his money, it should taste better than what he's paying for it. And so my philosophy going into this was, out of those 19 barrels, I tasted every barrel. I sectioned them off into flavor profiles. These are more oaky, these are more desserty, these are more fruity, more spicy, more floral. And then I started just nitpicking and doing sections of each of those together until I had like literally like 71 different variations of these blends, and then just kind of, it was like a 17-hour day. Like those like these two 17-hour days of me doing this. So a lot of work went into this, and I did 5 batches. A lot of work went into these 5 batches. Was making sure that every batch I had, because all these are different weights. So because of the age variance and stuff, some barrels were, like 90% full. Some were 2 gallons. Some were 10 gallons. Some were, 12 or 15 or 30 gallons. So it's trying to find that appropriate amount. Basically just going through at a taste perspective of, does it taste better than the price point that it's at? Is it good? And is every batch going to be unique enough to where if someone wants to chase all the batches or search for them, will there be enough variance in it? So it's multifaceted there, but really just kind of figuring out the best pairing of barrels for this. So this first batch is 5 barrels. One of those barrels maybe had 2 gallons of whiskey in it, so essentially a 4-barrel blend. And
Any finished barrels?
no finished.
Okay.
It's all just straight, no toast, no double oak, no nothing. Just pure straight Kentucky bourbon. So
Very nice. Stace, what are you picking up over there?
With all of the Fortunas that I've had thus far, I get a lot of like mint on the nose, and not just like a sharp like spearmint. I get like a dinner mint, like a sweet mint.
those little butter mints.
Yeah.
The buttermints, like you get it like a wedding.
Or your grandma's house.
Or your meemaw. I was getting ready to
meemaw.
go there. Or
At your
meemaw.
meemaw's house, right?
Or your
Yeah.
meemaw. I get that on the nose of every Fortuna, and I personally like that. It takes me back to my childhood.
When you're drinking rye whiskey. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was drinking rye whiskey out of my grandma's purse. No.
at church in the pew.
At church in the pew. You know, whatever.
Mark, did
We
your
all have
granny
our own
not, did your
religions.
granny not have a mint bowl?
Did your grandma not love you?
My mom did, yeah. Yeah, she did.
My grandma gave me rye whiskey. She did. But I get a lot of that on the nose. I really, really appreciate the nose of Fortuna's. But that's the lead note that comes through.
Was that before or after Chad started blending?
That was, I said on all Fortunas, all, meaning before Chad and during Chad. This one is much higher proof than the one that I've had previous.
Yeah, BC and DC.
Actually,
I was going to BC, yeah, BC.
before Chad and after Chad.
Yes, right.
So BC, all of the Fortunas that I've had BC have had a similar nose. This one has a little bit more complexity on it. So good job.
Because he's so complex.
Good job, Chad.
Thank you.
Chad's also the master of funk, so I'm curious to dive into the palate
There
of
you
this
go.
one.
What about you, Philip?
It's really mint forward for me. I would almost say this is a rye. Like, I get a lot of that rye spice and a lot of that kick. And that's not a bad thing. I actually enjoy it. But if I had to guess, I would say this is a very high rye bourbon.
Gotcha. Matt, what about you?
I get a really creamy nose.
Mm-hmm.
It's really creamy.
Like a buttermint?
Marshmallow kind of nougat on the nose. I picked up a lot of some stone fruit as well, some plum and fig.
Yeah.
And now that it's sitting out and getting more air, catching a little bit more wind.
So
in
once
it.
That neck pour?
we've made it past the neck pour now, right?
Once we got through Primus Noctum.
We're making T-shirts, by the way.
Yes, we
It's
are.
got it's getting a
They'll be
little
ready by
like
Thursday.
little brittle, little caramel, nutty.
Yeah.
I think some of the age on the barrels is coming through a little bit more as it picks up some more air.
What are the ages again on the barrels, Chad?
7+ is all I
Yeah,
can say.
okay, yeah,
Seven-
that's fine. Yeah, so
There is a nice, really strong caramel note after
Yeah.
you swirl it a little bit.
yeah, no doubt about it. Very sweet. There's a lot of sweetness that goes with that. But that buttercream, that was a great descriptor for once. Thank you, Stacey. That was awesome.
For once.
Alrighty, folks.
yeah.
So we can see that the turntables have turned.
Oh yeah, I got 2 of them and a microphone.
fine.
So,
Jesus Christ.
is there any topic you guys would like to talk about?
How you're an asshole? How's that?
There's a line. There's a line like out the door around the
ya.
corner.
Love ya.
Yeah. Thank you, Stacey.
You're welcome.
Mark, what was whiskey like in 1830?
A lot of tobacco
Hey,
spit.
why don't we
a lot
talk about celebrity whiskeys and why some people hate on them so much?
Sure. What do you think? You brought it up. Talk about it.
Well,
I think it's low hanging fruit sometimes. If
It's
for
easy,
instance, you just don't like said celebrity, or maybe you don't like the way that
or
said,
people who claim to be celebrities.
or you say you're not a country music fan. Maybe you're quick to dismiss bourbon or whiskey endorsed by a country music artist
Sure.
or
And music artists in general,
Yes,
because there's
yeah.
been a lot of rock artists that have put, products out there this last couple of
Yeah.
years.
All right. So, example, blackened whiskey,
Correct.
which Matt, we had Rob Detrick on the show.
we did. I thought it was absolutely spectacular.
Rob was the former master blender at
Stranahan's
Stranahan's, right? He introduced, was it Snowflake, right?
Snowflake. That was his
his
brainchild.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, Rob's a great guy, and obviously has a ton of experience and does some great stuff. So I really enjoyed the show. I was skeptical. Metallica has a whiskey. It's like,
Also, don't talk shit about Metallica.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
come on. Don't get me started.
Unless you're Napster.
I am the original Napster. But no, Metallica's a great band. Are you a Megadeth fan? Are we going to go to Dave Mustaine versus?
Oh, no way.
No, I never got
into
into Dave Mustaine.
No.
Okay, all right.
Like,
I
are we
don't
going
like
down this
Metallica.
conspiracy
I don't
theory?
like Metallica
rabbit hole?
or no.
Philip's more of an AC/DC guy.
Okay, I love ACDC.
I don't mind AC/DC. Yeah,
Don't
they're all right.
I
mind?
don't think I ever knew that you didn't like Metallica.
What
No,
the
I
hell?
don't like Metallica.
Really?
I don't love Metallica
I don't like
either.
the Beatles either. If we want to really just get at
Yeah, I don't care about the Beatles or the Rolling Stones or Led
no,
Zeppelin.
yeah,
you know.
well, I like Led Zeppelin.
No,
but,
Zeppelin's kind of a thing. But I will say, like, Injustice for All, as far as an album goes, like, not to make this like a music like section,
Let's
but
go.
no, let's keep going because I.
No, we're going to go back to
but
Celebrity Whiskey.
that is a good album, and like I think it's better than the Black Album. You know,
All right, I'm gonna throw this out there. Jim Morrison's dad drove the boat that got us into Vietnam. Look it up. You Google it.
Another,
and he was related to Bigfoot.
and he's
Google
Rush,
it.
he's
No,
Rush
hey,
Limbaugh. I
drove-
saw on TikTok
he
today
drove
that
a UFO.
Jim Morrison is actually Rush Limbaugh.
No. Jim Morrison died, but just listen.
No. He's Rush Limbaugh.
I'm not telling
Died.
anybody anything. Just Google it.
All right, you Google that.
Hey,
But
do
going
your
back-
own research, Mark.
Yeah, please do your own research.
For the love of God, do your own research.
Going back to the whiskey, blackened, yes. All right, so other
Blackened's
celebrity,
good.
I was
celebrity
not
brands.
expecting this to go
Yeah.
off the damn rails. This
I don't know how. I don't know what made you think this was going to be like a straight shot from fucking point A to point B.
It was not
No,
going to be.
but not that far off the damn rails.
All right, so who else? There's other brands out there, right? American Highway Reserve.
Yeah,
Brad
so the
Paisley.
Brad Paisley.
Is that
So-
the one where he's driving around the barrels? in the
Barrels
tour
are
bus?
on the tour bus.
Which-
right?
hold on,
As
okay.
hokey as that sounds, I think that's a great
It is.
idea. If
Let's
you're-
talk about the legality of
Yeah,
that.
I don't hate that idea, but
So-
yeah, that's probably not legal.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
let's go. You like the reason why like OH Ingram can't have like an actual bar is because it can't move. It has to be stationary. It's like a bonded warehouse has to be stationary.
I don't know, man.
But is this a bonded semi truck?
It has to be to legally store and age whiskey. Yeah. Every fucking warehouse has to be bonded.
But I guess Jefferson's gets by with it because it's in
Correct.
international waters.
They're international
Yeah,
waters.
They're
but-
international waters, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But it's also like that. With that, they're already taking aged whiskey and putting it out there.
Yeah.
So like
at
you know,
what point does that become?
so they're taking like 4+ year old whiskey and putting it out in the ocean and then aging it because you don't want to get in that whole like, well, it's not aged in America, yada yada yada. It's not bourbon. But when you're talking about like highway whatever,
Highway Reserve.
Whatever,
What if
whatever.
they're just saying they're just transporting it?
That's true.
but they're telling it behind
But if they're just transporting it,
from show to show to
I
show
mean,
to
like
show to
if
show.
you source your whiskey from somewhere and it's distilled in state X, but you had it stored in state Y,
But it's
it
not.
needs to get from state X to
It's
state
not
Y.
doing 127 shows on a semi truck. It's literally traveling from one fucking spot to the other within 24-hour
Have they
period.
disclosed what they, as far as driving it, how much they drive it around?
I don't know what the-
The way the original press release that came out like 21 or 2020,
Yeah,
whenever
that's been a
it
while.
first came out, was
22, I think.
No, first batch was long before then.
No. Well, I probably didn't get the first batch because I'm not that fucking cool.
I've never had it. It's $100.
I've got a couple of
bucks.
I have a sample bottle of it.
All right,
Yeah.
we know you got it, Mark.
Oh,
Okay,
But-
yeah, that probably was 21. Go ahead.
The way the original press release made it sound like every barrel in that batch was on the trailer. So if
Yeah.
there's 50 barrels, there's 50 barrels on the trailer. Whatever that batch was, it was on the trailer. Legally, that's not okay.
well, I'm just
After you release it and you disclose that,
they've done it, man. So
Yeah.
I know they have.
so
I'm just saying, like
I
what,
listened to a podcast, Dad's Drinking Bourbon. John Edward, and I
Hey-o,
miss
John.
I know I miss you, John. I wish you'd come back.
Miss you.
But anyway,
and Zeke.
yeah, and Zeke.
Zeke.
I don't know Zeke, but
Honorable mention.
yeah, yeah. But he had Brad on his show, man, and Brad, I mean, he knows his shit. I mean, Brad is like seriously legit, all about bourbon, the bourbon history, the bourbon brands, the old history of bourbon. I mean, I was just like, I listened to the show and I was like,
It was a really good show.
I was like, holy crap. I mean, I was super impressed with Brad's knowledge. Somebody else, celebrity wise, that impresses me with their knowledge is Brothers Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Ian Somerhalder.
That was
especially.
another brand that really surprised me, and I wanted to hate it.
I know.
Wanted to hate it.
I think a lot of
because
people did, right?
I am not into anything Vampire Diaries
Yeah,
at all. No, nothing of that sort appeals to me at all. But I tried a sample of it.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty damn good.
I'll give those guys credit because, like, when I was at Bourbon and Beyond, they were talking about, like through COVID, that's what they did to pass the time.
Oh, yeah.
So for a year and a half, 2 years, they were literally coming to one of them's house and blending samples, like what Chad did with Fortuna. They were
Sure.
doing it
Hours
So
and
I
hours.
respect that. The where I have the problem is the celebrity that just throws their name on a brand.
Sure.
And they aren't involved in the
They
process.
might have tasted
yeah.
it, but yeah,
Right.
they're not involved in
Exactly.
it. Like
So-
it's
so
not
I wonder-
their brand; it's their name.
I wonder, in the whiskey world, I wonder if it's different because, you see like gin and tequila and stuff. You see a lot of these celebrity. I can't imagine that. I mean, God love Ryan Reynolds, but I can't imagine with his Aviator gin that he is like day in and day out making decisions on how many
No, he's too busy pumping out Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile,
Yeah.
how many botanicals are going to be distilled in his, Aviator or whatever it's called. Gin.
But also, isn't that a risky thing to do? I mean, I guess not for a celebrity when you're trusting people who know the industry to just like take
Well,
your
sure.
name and make something. But like for me, as a control freak like I am,
Sure.
if I was a celebrity, that would scare the shit out of me to be like somebody else is going to be like making product for me.
Yeah,
And
with
I
my
don't
name
know
on it.
what the hell is going on behind it.
But you look like so in that realm, you've got him, Ron Reynolds.
The
what's
Rock.
Yeah,
The Rock does a tequila.
But
Mark
his Anejo,
Is it really good? I've not had it.
His tequila's pretty good.
I really like it.
I mean, of course, it's got some additives and flavors and stuff in it, but I mean, it is good
His
tequila.
Anejo is my favorite.
Mark Wahlberg has.
LeBron James, I think, it's got tequila.
Yeah.
LeBron
Like two
James.
different-
Yeah, LeBron James has tequila. Kevin Hart's got tequila.
He has a tequila too.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's
know
got
that.
tequila.
Probably the same as the Rock. They just changed the name.
It's probably in a mini
They
bottle.
just called it. Yeah, it's a 375.
So whenever Kevin Hart put out
a
his
half
tequila,
pint.
Busted them. That was
It's a half pint. That's awesome.
we got a standee in our store of like, this is the real life size of Kevin James, and all these people are like, no way, he's not that that small.
Hold on, you said
Like,
Kevin
You said
James.
Kevin James.
not
Kevin
Kevin.
James is from King of Queens.
Yeah.
No. Nope.
He's
Back it up.
Paul
Back it
Blart,
up.
not
Kevin
Paul,
Hart.
Kevin
not,
Hart.
not Paul Blart. We're not talking.
Not Paul Blart.
I wish Paul Blart fucking put out a tequila.
Same,
I would respect
right?
that more.
I would drink the fuck out of that.
Yeah, I would drink a whiskey. If you put out a whiskey, I'd probably be all over that. So, what are there other whiskey brands or celebrity brands?
Doesn't like okay. I think Jason Aldean has a brand, but I don't even know what it is.
I don't even know what it
He
is.
What was
either.
the one that you all? So, Eric Church did the Gypsy, and that was like
yeah,
a
yeah.
blend of like Canadian, like
That
a
was-
really.
That was just a blended whiskey though.
And but
blended
the funny-
whiskeys.
So here's the thing, like we're talking about Ian Somerhalder and Paul Wesley, the Vampire Diaries. So they put out Brothers Bond, right? Nowhere on the bottle, nowhere do you see. I mean, obviously their pictures, they're doing the marketing, but on the bottle it doesn't say
Correct.
Vampire
Yeah,
Diaries.
if you walk
it
in the
doesn't.
liquor store, it doesn't say
It doesn't
that,
say
so,
Ian
yeah.
Somerhalder. It
It's
doesn't
got their
say.
signatures on it, though.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, it does have their signatures.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like in print, so like you
Correct.
have
Yeah.
to know what you're looking
Sure,
for.
right. So it's it's not like they're really and even
Come
on the
silence your
podcast,
devices.
silence those. We've had them on the show twice, and we never talk about the celebrity status of what they did in the show. We've never talked about Vampire Diaries. Never talked about what they do. And, Paul's like, isn't he Captain Kirk on another Star Trek or something? So
I've not.
You're asking the wrong.
okay, well, I didn't
I'm a
know.
Star Wars guy. Fuck Travis.
So, I mean, but we've never talked about any of that. But I mean, it's just crazy that those guys really don't use their celebrity like Eric Church with Gypsy because
I like that.
don't
That's
see-
what I respect.
Ari was very forthcoming. Ari Sussman, who's
Yeah.
the master blender for
Yeah.
Whiskey Gypsy, was very forthcoming in that, saying that he wants to be a part of the brand, but he isn't the brand. Whiskey
Right.
Gypsy
I
is the
really
brand.
like that.
I do too. And the whiskey Gypsy, it's expensive.
It is,
Yes.
but you're getting
But
what
it's-
isn't it like 13 plus year
It's-
Canadian whiskey plus
Yeah.
like all these
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like it's older.
Yeah, it's like 5-year BBC whiskey, and then like 13 to 15 Canadian. It's got like some crazy like 10-year-old MGP rye in it or something. I can't remember. It's got
And
a
it-
lot.
and it's
It's
a
a
I mean,
lot.
there's
I mean,
a lot,
Ari-
and honestly, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, Ari Sussman's a great blender, I think, because he does. He's with 3-chord bourbon as well. So we've been fans of Ari's for years, and just I think he's done a great job with the Whiskey Gypsy. So yeah, I mean, I like those celebrity brands. You get brands though out there like Bradshaw Bourbon. Obviously, it's Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw obviously did it. I enjoyed it. I like their stuff. I'm a fan of Jacob Call and Green River when he was there. I know you guys talked a little bit before we started this. It's young, right? So
But my thing is like how I want to know how involved these people are.
I don't think Terry was.
And
Well, I can tell you, Terry, he did a podcast where he basically just went on and someone's like, oh, they handed me a bottle of this. And he's like, I drank it. I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, oh, it's your new rye whiskey that you're putting out.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
that just tells you enough that I need to know. Like, all right, he don't give a shit. He just wants, it's money, you know.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately you do run across that, and not to say that it's bad. I
No,
mean, in terms
and
the
it
whiskey
wasn't
itself,
bad,
the whiskey, the
but-
production is good. It's from Green River, as Jacob calls stuff.
But my thing for like something like that is like, it is a 2-year-old. If I'm going to support Green River, I'm going to support Green River.
Correct.
I'm just
Again,
going to buy Green River. Like,
Right.
You know.
yeah, because their stuff they put out is really good. I mean,
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's one complaint that I kind of have with the whole bourbon whiskey world anyways, even with the sourcing for brands. The distillers that produce it don't get the recognition.
oh yeah, no, I
I
agree.
agree.
And that, to me, that's a problem because those people are actually putting in the work to make it good whiskey.
That's why we do the Bourbon Life podcast, man, so we can, let everybody know what they do.
The Bourbon Life podcast stands with all the distillers.
That put out these products.
Oh
Even
man,
with, sourcing MGP or anything, like it's such a, who's the master distiller of MGP? Does anybody know their name?
Ian Sturzman.
Ethan Sturzman.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
He's head.
You're going to learn today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. It might be. He might be considered master, but there's like 20 distillers.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no different like New Riff though. New Riff's got they've got like 20 distillers at New Riff, but they all have a history of like brewing and stuff. So like those people know their shit. Like they know fermentation and they know what to do. So, but yeah, I mean, like it may not be the head of like New Riff or MGP, but the people who are doing that still have, and they their names aren't known. I can't tell you the 50 people who distill at MGP. But I fucking love me some MGP.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's their craft. And so, like, for me, if the celebrity's going to be involved, I think that should be all the way involved, like with the blending and the tasting.
No, I agree. I agree with that. Guys, we're at the end of the round. Let's jump back and talk about the whiskey. What do we get in terms of the...
It's straight hot garbage because Chad blended this. I'm just kidding.
Well, Stacey, you started with the nose, so now go ahead and start with the palate. What do you get as you're drinking another drink? So you need to go to the bathroom. Do we need to take a break?
I don't need to go to the bathroom. I actually get some peanut brittle on this one. It gives me some Jim Beam vibes on the palate.
I was literally going to say the same exact
Which is odd to me because I haven't picked that up with any other Fortunas that I've had. So I'm curious to hear more about this one.
Interesting.
Okay, passing that along.
Matt?
It opens up. I think we had speculated that maybe this was a higher rye. It opens up with that buttermint that we were all picking up on the nose. Then the peanut brittle comes through. The age and the oak are definitely in there. Stone fruit for me comes down the back line, but nice rye spice at the finish. Good cracked peppercorn.
Yeah.
A nice heat. Good. It's what was the proof, Chad? 121.
121.46.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It drinks warm, but not 121.
I agree.
I would
Yeah.
pin this 112, 110, 112.
Philip, what do you think?
I would say in the holiday season, if you were going to try to go out and find like a Knob Creek 12 or 18 or something like that, if you find this for a cheaper price, definitely get this. This is going to be just as good, if not better, and
Yeah.
it's going to be more affordable.
And it has similar taste qualities to it. This one has a little bit more rye influence, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. Nothing really more I can add. Really nice, and does not drink at that 121. And so very nice. A lot of good qualities, a lot of good flavor profile for sure. Chad, what else, man?
I mean, I appreciate all the kind words.
It's like all of you guys are wrong. It does
No.
not taste like that at all.
So like, and I have mine. Like I have my tasting that's pulled up from like whenever I did my
Let's hear
my
it.
blend, and like they've changed every time I taste it. But like these are the collectives, somewhere in here. So like for this on the nose, for me, I got a lot of black pepper, a lot of vanilla, a little candied cherry and tobacco. To me, I thought the nose was kind of flat. It actually is more opened up from like when I blended it. So the thing
It
about
was
like
the neck pour, sure.
Well, so okay, hold on. So the thing about like when it goes from being blended to being bottled, it's getting circulated through
Sure.
3 different filters. There's a lot of air involved because it's a pneumatic system. So there's a lot of air that's being influenced into this to kind of help pump through there. So it's really kind of like getting everything finalized and influenced. But yeah, I got a lot of citrus, dried fruit, burnt sugar, some tobacco, a lot of black pepper, and a good oak presence on it. And I personally get a lot of like confectionery powdered sugar, like waffle batter dough, and like on the finish of it, it goes spicy black pepper, and then it kind of tames off in the sweet, like light vanilla, like a where I'm from, it's an elephant ear. What is it everywhere else? Funnel cake.
Funnel cake.
Yeah. So funnel cakey, kind of get that note, and it just kind of dies off. A little medium length finish. But like when I blended it, since this was batch 1, the largest batch so far, I wanted it to be something that kind of had everything: a little bit of floral, a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of fruit. So the stone fruit and stuff in there, just kind of like make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Now every batch after this is very much blended to a like this batch is a fruit bomb, this batch is an oak bomb, this batch is spice bomb. So like this is kind of the for everyone batch, and judging by what everyone here had to say, I kind of hit that point. And
Yeah, you did all right, man.
yeah, it's appreciated. Thank you.
Mediocre at best.
Yeah,
Just
I
kidding.
would
It's
say
really good.
I mean that's
That's
me.
a lot better than some others. that
But
are out
hey,
there
but
blended.
here's the real question: fixture or mixture?
I'm going to say bottom shelf mixture.
How much is the price on that?
Yeah, what's the price point?
What's the price point?
Our SRP is what we are saying. It should cost you $100.
But what is it being sold for?
I couldn't tell. I mean, every distributor's,
Around $100.
At the MSRP at $100? I think it's all right. Yeah, I think it's a fixture.
Matt's gonna say no.
I think at $100, I would want a different batch. This one, it's good, it's broad, but I want to see some of these batches where you really try to pinpoint like floral or.
and that was kind of the whole
spicy.
thing. So like, yeah, it's not everyone's gonna love every batch, and not every batch is for everyone.
Yeah.
and I understand that. So it's just kind of like, dude, I wanted to make sure every batch tasted as worth what we want to SRP it for or better, and some batches may be better than others based on end user.
Right.
But whenever I blended them and I went through them, I was like, I would pay for something like the way I was looking at it in my mind, like what Life Creek Barrel Proof is about $100 in our area now.
It is, yeah.
If you can
that's
find
just
it,
what I was gonna say.
if you can find a stag product,
Right.
which is 6 to 7 year old Buffalo Trace cast strength, it's $200.
Yep.
And then if you can find like Taylor Barrel Proof, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost you $500. So I was looking at like, does it taste as good or better
Sure.
than $100 based on those products?
Yep. At the proof point in what you've blended up, I would say yes. For me, I would buy it. So Stacy, she's torn.
I am torn. I like this way better than the previous Fortuna products, and that's not to discredit any of the past Fortuna products I've had in the past because I liked them. But at $100-ish, I'd like to see a little bit more variation in it. I think that you've done a great job with this one, though. Seriously, this is much,
Appreciate that.
much, at least for my palate, much better than what I've tasted in the past. And I would much rather pay $100 for this than what I've seen on the shelves.
Yeah, I would much
previously.
rather buy this than a Booker's.
Oh, yeah.
To talk about like
I agree with that.
$100,
Yeah.
$110
Yeah, I agree with
products,
that.
I would drink this over a Booker's any day.
Well, I'll take that because last time I seen Booker's on shelf was $129 at Liquor Barn.
I've seen it at 107, 109. So it's like,
Even
that's
Booker's,
crazy.
Booker's at 100.
Last one I saw was $110.
Like Booker's is my like, okay, I'll pay $100, but then I seen it Liquor Barn, I was like $129. I'm like, fuck.
No, I agree,
No,
man.
120.
It's
No,
reached.
but this is a solid product. Seriously, anybody that's curious about it.
Yep, very good
This
job
is
with
very
it, Chad,
good.
for sure.
Appreciate that.
All right, guys. Final thoughts because we're at the end. We've run over. Matt's like ready to go to bed, so we got to get him out of here.
Matt,
final
thanks
thoughts.
for a wonderful dinner.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
thank
my
you.
pleasure.
Thank you,
Everything
thank
was
you, thank you.
amazing.
Delicious.
My pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our listeners. Happy holidays. If this is the one that takes you into the holiday season, thank you all for staying with us through the 4th season.
Very nice. Stacy, anything you want to add?
I just want to say thanks, Matt, for making an awesome meal. And Chad, thanks for bringing us your blend. And everybody for bringing your wit and sarcasm. I didn't get to use my line tonight, Philip.
Do it now.
What was your line?
Don't piss down my back acting like it's raining.
Wow.
That was going to be my line if you disagree with me. And I should have used that
Yeah.
about the neck
On the
pour.
neck pour, you should
Damn
have.
it.
You missed your
I forgot.
opportunity.
But
missed
you
your
had me
shot.
Yeah.
so fired up.
I could tell you were like,
You had me so fired
ready
up
to,
about
like,
that.
jump out of
hey
your
guys,
chair.
guess what? Neck pour is just a term. We identify it as something different.
Yeah.
Stop using the term neck pour.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
a
that's what I'm
stupid
gonna
term.
say.
It's a stupid term. Philip, anything you want to add?
Chad, I think you blended a very good bourbon, and
Yeah,
everybody,
I'd like some more of that.
happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. And Matt, you're still the top chef.
Top chef.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
Hey,
Bigfoot.
You would beat
does
that guy
Bigfoot
from
exist?
Pikeville. Just,
Fuck yeah,
I think you
Bigfoot's
kicked that
real.
guy's ass.
What's that?
Bigfoot was real at some point, and UFOs are fake. If you believe that,
Oh,
Damn, dude.
shit.
they're not
No-
real. It's
yeah.
all military equipment.
Okay. Chad, what about you, man? Final thoughts.
I want to thank all of the sponsors tonight for the Bourbon Life podcast, and thank you, listeners, for listening, whatever time of day it is, morning, noon, or
Oh my
night.
God.
We
Matt.
appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time of day, wherever you are. We hope you had a good time with us,
Yeah.
and thank you for listening.
All
And
right.
if you're listening to this while you're sitting in the airport traveling for Thanksgiving, I'm sorry.
Yeah. If
When's
you,
this episode going to drop?
this week, so it'll
Oh,
be pre
Pre-Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Pre-T Gibbs.
Yeah, which
So-
will have to be because the next one would be Friday after Thanksgiving, right? So this
Yeah,
is
that's
kind of
true.
the.
This is the
So
Thanksgiving
everybody,
is-
just listen to this for topics you should not talk to your
Here-
relatives
here's the
about.
thing: if you have a Bluetooth speaker and you're at Thanksgiving with your family, just put this on Bluetooth.
If you're going to deep fry your turkey,
Yeah, just yeah.
go
If
ahead.
you want to piss off your Uncle Randy, talk about a goddamn neck pour.
That sounds great. Thank you all for listening. Whatever time it is for you. Geez, I can't even wrap this up, man. Thank you to all our sponsors. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here, of course, tonight. Thanks for all the abuse and sarcasm.
You're welcome.
I enjoy it. Matt, thank you so much for cooking a delicious
Yes,
pleasure.
thank you.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thanksgiving. This
It's not
has been
Chick-fil-A.
This has been a wonderful cruise giving episode. We've been enjoyed it completely. So thank you very much. With that said, I'm going to wrap it up, sitting at home with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full and may you keep on living the bourbon life.
Cue the violin.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the bourbon life.